How much should we invest in sales and marketing this year? Well, let's find out in today's edition of SaaS Metrics School. Welcome. My name is Ben Murray. Sales and marketing, we have to put guideposts around this frameworks because there is ROI that we expect out of our sales and marketing investment. And there are a couple metrics that we should look at to gauge the size and gauge the efficiency. So, first, let's talk OpEx profile. And that is R&D as a percent of revenue, sales and marketing as a percent of revenue, G&A as a percent of revenue. Now, R&D, G&A, we have expectations over time where that should go. Sales and marketing is a little bit different. We want to see investment. We want to see high investment in sales and marketing if there is ROI. And how do we determine ROI? Well, we look at GTM efficiency metrics. One of my favorite one is the cost of ARR, which I covered 2 episodes ago, and the benchmarks for that. We'll get to that in a second. So let's look at the latest benchmarks, sales and marketing as a percent of revenue from Ray Reich's latest data set. And let's take a peek here. So this is sales and marketing spend as a percent of revenue. And let's look at the top spenders. So those at the 75th quartile, the top quartile. So under $1 million in revenue, 100% spend in sales and marketing, which means if they are spending, let's say they're at that $1 million revenue level, they're spending $1 million in sales and marketing. So that's on the high side. 1 to 5 million in revenue, spending 60% of that revenue. 5 to 20, 55%. 20 to 50 million, 50%. 50 to 141%, and then over 100 million in revenue, 40%. And that I love the curve of those numbers because it follows what you expect. There are expectations with our OpEx profile that it will become less as a percent of revenue over time, so we can free up cash flow, operating leverage, and EBITDA. Doesn't mean we stop investing; it just doesn't go up as fast as revenue is increasing. And I cover that in a previous episode, a popular episode. You have to understand the difference between growing and scaling. So make sure you check out that previous episode. So those are the top spenders. Now, looking at the total population of SaaS, and I don't like to benchmark our OpEx profile by that. We really have to benchmark by our revenue size or ARR size. But top spenders were 55%, median 37%, and bottom 27%. So that gives us some guideposts around what others are spending. Now, with sales and marketing as a percent of revenue, that tells us nothing about efficiency within that sales and marketing spend. And that's where we have to look at the cost of ARR. So what does it cost to acquire $1 of net new ARR? Check out that episode 2 episodes ago. And that's where we can really size up our sales and marketing in general and that budget and what ARR we expect out of that. So if we're going to say spend 5 million in sales and marketing this year, are we expecting 5 million of ARR bookings, 2.5 million of net new ARR bookings? And that's where that cost of ARR metric comes into play. And that's a great way to call BS on a forecast or on a budget. So you've got to use these two in combo. And again, not just one metric, but several metrics in context. How much are we spending in sales and marketing as a percent of revenue? How's that trending over time? And then also the cost of ARR. So those two together are powerful. So use those metrics within your recurring revenue business. Then they'll help set those guideposts, those frameworks, and plus those ROI expectations, because sales and marketing is one where we do want to spend a lot. We do want to spend a lot there. But there's got to be clear ROI in that spend and that net new ARR dollar that we're generating. So hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you'd like to stay in tune with future events, make sure you join my SaaS community in the show notes and my newsletter, always talking SaaS metrics, templates, benchmarks, the latest events and conferences in SaaS. And if you do find value in this, please, I would love a 5-star review and rating. So thanks for listening today.